did I think this was a unique thing I did? Like, I look around on a plane and based on the people I see boarding, I'm like, maybe I'll be all right. But then I see someone with a Black Lives Matter shirt, and then they see me with a pro-life sweatshirt on, and I realize they think I'm gonna get us all smited. I'm here to destroy everyone freaking out about Candace Owens and Kanye West wearing White Lives Matter shirts. Howard Stern hasn't gone out to eat in 2 years because he's been scared of germs. Sarah Michelle Gellar reveals 2 very interesting parenting decisions she's recently made. Straight, white, Lena Dunham wants her casket to be driven in a pride parade when she dies, and some tea in the Tom Brady Gisele Bundchen drama. I don't get tired of saying it. Mama's always right, y'all. You already know this is so 5 Orange Juicy, and watch till the very end because I have a personal rant to share also. I'm Alex Clark, and this is POPlitics. I am wearing new TPSA merch today. This is so cute. By the way, I don't know how this looks on camera, but it is like a bright, neon-y orange-red color. It says, "Not Today Socialism." So cute little spin on "Not Today Satan." TPSA logo on the sleeve. TPSAmerch.com. Use code Alex or Alex Clark. It's one of those. If you want to get it, it is out today.
It's like a totally important designer.
Kanye West and Candace Owens broke the brains of social justice warriors all over America when they wore White Lives Matter shirts at his Yeezy fashion show in Paris.
The education system and the illiteracy rate. Illegal immigration ranks high, abortion ranks high, white supremacy and white nationalism, if I had to make a list again of 100 things, would not be on it. This hearing, in my opinion, is a farce. And it is ironic that you're sitting here and you're having 3 Caucasian people testify and tell you what their expertise are. Do you want to know what my expertise are? Black in America. I've been black in America my whole life, all 30 years. And I can tell you that you guys have done the exact same thing every 4 years ahead of an election cycle, and it needs to stop.
The responses are exactly what you'd expect. Some saying Kanye peaked during the Obama era and the country needs to move on. Others saying he was pictured with a fascist, being Candace Owens, LOL, we'll get to that later. And some other street talk called the shirts politically destructive and reprehensible.
But her smile pains my heart. And also, who the are these black people around just letting this happen with phones in their hand? What are you doing?
There's so much to say here. Obviously, one is this downright delicious marketing and promotion. I mean, it's edgy, it's controversial, fresh, all the things you need on social media in 2022 to go viral and get attention, so good for Kanye. It's also a true statement. White lives matter just as much as black lives, and black lives matter just as much as Latino lives, and Asian, and every other life, and so on and so on and so on. Of course, Black Lives Matter is also the misleading slogan of a Marxist organization hell-bent on destroying black lives, but no one has been willing to have that conversation amongst the social justice left, nor did they raise even close to as much of a stink when we found out that BLM founders bought 5 mansions and have mysteriously misplaced $90 million in funding that was raised off of dead black lives. They're mad at 2 black celebrities saying white lives are important too, but they're not mad over the get-rich-quick scheme which swindled the minds and wallets of hundreds of millions of Americans.
The deception, the betrayal.
And by the way, the level of projection by calling Candace Owens a fascist is beyond. Do you know what the left is doing right now? The American Medical Association is asking big tech and the Department of Justice to band together to censor, deplatform, investigate, and prosecute any journalists who question radical gender surgeries for minors. They want to deem any public criticism of giving children physically and mentally disfiguring drugs and surgeries as disinformation. When has Candace Owens ever called for a mass banning or deplatforming? The projection is off the charts with these people. BFFR.
BFFR. Be freaking for real.
In the words of Kanye West, everyone knows that Black Lives Matter was a scam. Now it's over. You're welcome.
I'm not black. I'm Kanye.
Howard Stern went out to eat for the first time since the pandemic hit in 2020 because he's been scared of germs.
The worst thing you can do for your immune system is to coddle it. They need to fight their own battles. If Sabre really cared about our well-being, they would set up hand desanitizing stations. a simple bowl at every juncture filled with dirt, vomit, fecal matter.
This man, who is a germ, has gone from hero to zero in record time. I can't even believe it. It is so hard to describe to Gen Z because they don't know anything about him except that he's this chia pet looking old man with a booming voice. In the 90s, Howard Stern was the king of the world, the #1 radio show in the country, the most controversial man on earth, an activist for free speech on every late night talk show.
Let me say something before you get to K-Rock, because I have nothing bad to say about K-Rock. The people I'm working for now are lovely. This is the best radio station in the country. I want to say something that being back in this building makes me nauseous. I think the biggest bunch of creeps run this company. I think when I got fired, it was, and you know it too, Dave, it's nothing you haven't said to me before.
He had parents losing their minds because of the stuff he would say, scrambling to censor him. In the 90s, there was no one scarier than Howard Stern or Eminem to suburban moms.
You got left because your dad dumped you when you were a baby, right?
Yeah.
And never, like, supported the family or anything.
Yeah, man.
Just like a black guy, you know how you always read about black inner city guys who are always dumping their families?
Yeah, where is that guy now?
Yeah. So, is your dad trying to get in touch with you since you had some success?
I've heard that he's trying to get in touch with me. I think he lives in LA,
right,
somewhere in California, and I've heard that he's trying to get in touch with me, but I really don't want to see him.
Fast forward to now. Can you imagine being married to a man who was scared to leave the house for 2 years to go out to eat for an illness that most people don't have to worry about? And then, on the other hand, some of the best conditioned and healthiest young athletes and even young celebrities are suddenly suffering from scary heart conditions and weird symptoms. And in many of these cases, we know that this happens after they get the Jabba the Hutt for said illness that didn't pose a significant risk to them. J.J. Watt just had his heart shocked back into rhythm last week. Say what you want, but you can't deny that this is all too sus to be coincidences. Yeah! I didn't even know this J.J. Watt story until I was digging and prepping for this episode. It never even popped up in my newsfeed once over the last few days. Anyways, the point is that in Howard's case, you either die a hero or you live long enough to become a villain. And baby boys become a villain.
I'm playing the villain, baby. Just like you want.
Check out this story. Sarah Michelle Gellar, known for Cruel Intentions, one of my favorite movies of all time, and most recently Do Revenge on Netflix, which was like a D-list knockoff Gen Z version of Clueless with horrific writing and storyline, but amazing fashion, said 2 things that piqued my interest this week. 1, her kids, who are 13 and 10, aren't allowed to have social media. She said, our rules are probably stricter than most. Our kids don't have social media. They're allowed to look sometimes when it's on our phones. Sometimes our kids will be like, you guys are the strictest household. But she said she doesn't let that guilt trip her into giving them what they want because she said, I believe kids need to know what their limitations are and they actually thrive in that environment. We're not mean, we're not unnecessarily strict, but we have rules. And the same way I abide by my code of rules, I expect the same from our children.
I know it feels like hell, but you are never more alive than when you're 17 years old.
Obviously, I love all of that. But then she lost me when she said something else in the same interview with Yahoo Life. She's being endorsed by Rite Aid right now to promote the flu shot, and she said it's not hard to suggest that people get the flu shot. Everybody knows now that the flu shot is the most effective way to prevent the flu. I think we're beyond the point of the flu shot being actually controversial. But she knows some people will inevitably disagree. This was her response. At the end of the day, the internet is a rabbit hole. And if I want to go down a rabbit hole and find out if the sky is purple, I'm sure I could find a place where the sky is purple. I used to get the flu shot every single year until the pandemic, and now I'm never getting it again, personally.
I hate being wrong.
I actually shrieked when I read this headline the first time. Lena Dunham slammed for wanting her casket driven in a pride parade. The gay community is pissed she said this. I think it is hysterically absurd. It's so classic liberal white woman. It seems parody, but that is Lena Dunham. That's why she's disliked by literally everyone, and now I need someone to make a Lena Dunham casket at a pride parade costume for Halloween. Gets even better. She said she wants a plaque on it that reads, she wasn't for everyone, but she was for us. The gays don't claim her, and we sure as hell don't either.
Girl, shut the up. You thought you ate that?
Take me to court! Page Six reported that multiple sources claim Tom and Gisele have retained divorce lawyers, and one source in particular said that they are looking at dividing their assets, which includes a $26 million property portfolio. You know that I've been predicting this all along. Sadly, I am always right about this stuff, but it seemed like every day there was another story pointing at more stress in their marriage. It is so sad. I love breaking news, but obviously I hate when any marriage falls apart, especially theirs. I really like them together. I know some of you are over it, but I'm gonna continue to watch these details closely as they unfold. According to Page Six, all the sources seem to be saying one thing: the couple has had fights before, but this has been different, and quote, there is no going back.
What is your way to like calm yourself down?
Yeah,
is it
cry, mostly.
Really?
Yeah, mostly cry.
Do you ever just have like several days in a row where you're functioning in a constant state of anxiety? I feel like my shoulders are up to my ears. My butt cheeks have been clenched so long, they're permanently going to stay like that. And I am on a serious verge of tears for absolutely no reason. I'm not anywhere near my period, so it's not that. It's just not a good time for me. I feel like my life is about to implode for absolutely no reason whatsoever. It's a horrible feeling and headspace to be in, and I will let you know when it goes away so we can chart exactly how long this lasts. People forget this, but POPlitics, the audio version, is on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so you can always listen to the show in the car if you can't watch. Heart and thumbs up this episode because it was totally 5 orange juicy. What is the longest you've personally heard that someone didn't leave their house during the pandemic? My best friend Lauren knows someone who didn't leave their apartment for 2 years. And do you think that Tom and Gisele's marriage has truly reached its end zone? Do us a favor, show us you love this by showing it or DMing it to 2 people. I don't care who. Just do that and press the save button. We're back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. It's pop culture without the propaganda every single day. I'm Alex Clark, and this is POPlitics.
Clearly, POPlitics is best served visually, but you can also listen to POPlitics if you just want the audio. Subscribe to us anywhere you get your podcasts: Apple, Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn, and more. Also, make sure that if you are listening to the podcast version, you leave us a 5-star review. And don't forget, subscribe to POPlitics on YouTube.